podcast production is wet. Welcome to Have You Ever Felt Like This? Today we'll be covering episode 10, No Wall. I'm Aaron Twist. Joined with me is illustrious
long-lost cousin Gabriel Torsion.
Clown Bonker. And by bonker, I don't mean sex, you nutters. Like
Big
bonk. Like,
comedy mallet.
yes.
Yeah. I like, it's, and we'll get into this as we get into the episode, but, like a lot of different, a lot of Australia's history, clowns are an invasive species in Australia that went feral fairly quickly. And as a young man, you could make not a lot of money, but some.
50 feral clowns in my yard.
Yeah. Like, 40 or 50 feral clowns just suddenly in the yard trying to entertain your children. And 2 or 3, all right. 40 or 50, that's now they're just playing silly buggers. And so, you could hand in a clown pelt to your local National Party office for 50 cents. And, you get enough of them and you can get a meat pie.
You say that, but I think the National Party's got enough clowns as it is. This episode was,
in a lot of ways, perilously close to being good.
It was very avant-garde in a lot of ways. That it was kind of like the episode where, what was that previous episode where Pete got chased through the school? What was that one?
The remote?
Yeah. You know how that one was kind of all over the place?
Yeah.
And of the subject matter, but there wasn't a lot.
We always forget that there was that it was a dream sequence.
Yeah.
Which I feel is like the bit that kind of wrecks it. Like it's not like you need to have a cover story for why Santa's here and has Wolverine bone claws. It's like, if you've got a fucking green baby from a cabbage dimension, that's a big window. You can push a lot of things. You can have just, feral Santa Claus, smaller fucking issue than the cabbage dimension. You can just do that.
Because in a way, this episode had not a lot of subject matter.
No,
there wasn't a lot of sets. There wasn't a lot of anything, but it was more entertaining to watch this than the other ones where we were like, that was bad.
Yeah.
Why waste our time with that?
Well, because it was focused. There was a thing happening.
Yeah.
And because it's funny because I was looking at my notes and I have the title usually capitalized so I don't just lose it amidst the nonsense. And it says No Wall. And I'm like, why the fuck is the goddamn episode called No Wall? What the fuck has that got to do? And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And it's because there's one thing going on and then the peripheral shit is just peripheral.
Yeah.
And it sort of works that way. And the thumbnail is also Linda dressed as a fucking Four Non-Blondes castaway. There was a period in around 1993, and it was a very small window, where just alternative girls all dressed like a Raggedy Ann that someone found in a yard.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, and it was the Blossom period.
I'm honestly surprised that look hasn't come back in majorly. Because there's a lot of other stupid looks that have come back. And
it's kind of interesting, that one, because, it hasn't shown back up. And the 90s are now that 70s show ago. And they're going to do that 90s show, apparently.
Oh, no.
I know, which disrupts me.
No,
but
I lived that. I don't need to. The 70s show was funny because I wasn't alive in the 70s, damn it.
Because it was from the ancient times.
Yeah. They're not allowed to make fun of my childhood, damn it.
I know. This is what I mean when I say, if it turned out eating babies could keep you young forever, I'd eat babies. I don't care. I'm not dealing with this.
So the clown, there's an opening sequence with a clown.
They're getting fancy with these opening sequences because this has a setting, and a character. It's not just a mirror's gotten weird. There's a fucking circus. I mean, it's a green screen.
That was the funny thing because I said, the whole thing's green screen. And you said, Aaron, circus big tops are expensive.
Yeah, you fucking, it's not like a fucking...
I never thought of the logistics of a big top.
Yeah, it's not like a tent from Kmart.
That top is big.
It's big.
Also, why don't we call tents tops?
Well, I suppose, the big top itself is a form of tent.
Yeah.
But it is one defined by the bigness of its top. So, it's a tent.
I'm just going to call all tents little tops now. Have you erected a little top?
I feel like that's what circus folk would call them. Because for them, the big top is the definitive tent. It is the tent that is their normal.
Maybe it's like Master Mold and shits out little tents.
I mean, by what we've seen today, I think that that's basically how circuses reproduce.
Mm.
And the clown is like just being a clown, and he has a hamster on his head.
Which was...
And he's slightly creepy by creepy clown standards. And it's one of those ones where like the creepiness, and very specifically the sense of creepy, not like necessarily scary exactly, but like creepiness is one of those things that like it's hard to do deliberately without going overboard into the obvious. You know, creepy has to be something that you're not sure about in any logical sense. Like you shouldn't be able to describe creepy, you know?
Yeah.
Like I saw a creepy clown. What was creepy about him? Oh, you know, you had like painted on lips. And it's like, yeah, fucking so what? Like that doesn't sound like anything. Like it has to be something that you just see and feel in some fucking, you know, genetic memory of like, I don't know, getting chased through the fucking savannah by clowns.
Yeah.
Cause like that, you know, the basic clown outfit that the clown's in when he's not like half made of straw, and we'll get to that, is not deliberately creepy, but it's creepy. And that's the bit. That's the bit that nails it. In order for creepy to be creepy, the best creepy is not deliberate. You know, it's just an accident of like some fucking extra bits.
Yeah. It's like EC.
Yeah.
That child, like,
Yeah,
they didn't make that to be creepy.
That was expressly the opposite.
Yeah. But when you look at it, I get nothing but creepy.
Oh, yeah, no, it's fucking sinister as shit. It's because its movements are so slow and deliberate. You know, it's
the lack of facial features as well, really.
I mean, that's not helping, but like, it moves so smoothly and deliberately. You know, it's like spider legs. It's just.
So we open on the Twist family. Tony's fiddling with a sculpture, and Linda calls Bronson a fink.
That's and
a fink, for those who don't know,
like 1920s fucking slang.
Merriam-Webster defines that as one who is disapproved of or is held in contempt.
Like, what's the history of that?
That's a good question. Let's have a look.
Not dink. Fucking
late 19th century, perhaps from German. Students started to refer to non-members of fraternities as finks, probably by association with the freedom of wild birds as opposed to cage one. Okay.
All right.
But yeah, I know the word from rat fink.
Yeah, like I've heard that. Like, doesn't it come up in the fucking Game Boy Advance Mario and Luigi RPG a lot? Like, aren't they? Doesn't he call you finks a lot in that one? Or is like the villain called Fink or some shit?
He's forceful.
I know the word Fink comes up a lot. But
he probably says it.
It's one of those like archaic little, you know.
Yeah. So that I thought that was just really interesting with that word just dropped in there.
Yeah, because it's not like that's something. It's not like that's just lived in Australia.
Also, we have to remind us this is a kids show, so saying "fink"
means fucking cunt.
Nothing to a child.
Yeah,
like you could literally tell a child, "Daddy, what does fink mean?" It means a slut. Well, and that's that child's definition now.
Yeah.
So
it's a contraction of fuck sink.
I'm going with that from now on.
Yeah. And then the music kicks off, like the haunted music.
Yeah.
And this time the whole family acknowledge it like, hey, it's that fucking music again.
Let's get to it before it goes away.
Yeah. And they bolt up the stairs and they've got like a fucking bit of string coming out the door because apparently and what this suggests is like if you've got a bed sheet and a string and shit set up to catch the ghost music, it means that you've tried to like catch the ghost music other ways. No one attaches a fucking bedsheet to a string and puts it to a door and then listens, you know, at the door and prepares to like launch your fucking drop trap when you haven't tried just walking in and going, aha, and just seeing a bunch of fucking instruments.
See, if this show was modern, all this shit would be just gone because you just have a camera.
Yeah.
You'd literally just have a camera. You could put your phone in there even.
Yeah. No, you just set up a stream. Like, hey, want to see my ghost instruments fucking play themselves?
That's jamming, man.
And then you got like just, you know, there's actual ghosts playing music and you got like 4 views. So it's like, I bet if my ghosts had tits, they'd have fucking views. Hey, you want to see my ghost's tits? I left a bunch of those, like, latex tits just in the room, and the ghosts are wearing them now. Like, granted, they're kind of all over the place.
Oh,
but
no. These are tit ghosts. They're actual,
the ghosts of tits.
Yeah, when tits got cut off to be, reduced or things, these are the souls of the tits. They've died. They're just hovering there.
Tits.
So yeah, they missed the music. Tony says they're alive.
Yeah, they dropped because they dropped the bed, so they got a bed sheet set up over the fucking clarinet, which is, a real good way of catching like fucking Woody Allen. And when the sheet falls, there's lumps under the sheet. And it's not like the instruments. There's like, rounded head-shaped bumps coming up and down and shit. And then they flip the sheet off after an edit, and there's just like the instruments sitting there with the dust and shit still on them. So it's like, all right, something's afoot. And I don't know, they're upstairs anyway, so they go out into the balcony to look, and there's a steamer trunk just floating in the water covered in barnacles.
Let's be real. They went out on the balcony to push Bronson off. But
every day they just
Tony's there, so they can't.
Just like, if we just say he was playing and we told him not to, we could throw him off the edge and Dad wouldn't know. And like, he'd be sad at first, but he'd be okay after a while.
I think he'd be better for it.
Yeah. And then, you just like, because if the show's taught us anything, Bronson would probably be happy as a ghost.
That's true.
But
then it'll be worse because you'd have a haunting from Ghost
yeah,
Bron.
fuck, because that would just unleash his most annoying powers.
He could be there 24/7. He doesn't need to sleep. He doesn't need to eat.
Flesh Bronson can be held back by doors. That's an important life.
Look, I wasn't prepared for the sentence Flesh Bronson to start. Any sentence that starts with Flesh Bronson, it's like Flash Thompson. It's Flesh Bronson. Oh shit.
Flesh Bronson.
So yeah, they see a chest floating in the water.
To be fair, if I saw a fucking steamer chest floating in the water, I would be at that thing like
oh
a
yeah,
shot.
100%.
That's the most interesting thing you are likely to see in a decade.
See, I may not like being in the ocean, but if something like that washed up, I think that's really cool.
Oh,
I like the idea of it and stuff.
Because it's the box that they fucking, the Jumanji washed up in, basically.
Yeah.
And, there's clown music not coming from it. This is like non-diegetic clown music, so we can hear it, but the kids can't. And so naturally, like, if the Jumanji box in the water was playing clown music, I'd probably give it a bit of a, I'd hang back. I'd let someone else touch it first, because I don't, I've seen too many movies about exactly this.
Yeah. I don't believe in any of that stuff, but if it appeared in front of me, I'd believe it enough.
I don't, magic boxes playing clown music isn't real. But like, if I'm hearing music that I can't source, like it's either, either reality's broken, because like there's, the universe is a very big place. There might be just some pattern we're not aware of where like every quadrillion years, the most recent universe, other rules just get fucking fucked up for a bit. And, you don't know that. And then suddenly ghosts are real. It's like, oh, well, fuck.
I wish that actually happened for a day. There was a day a year that's just no reality day.
Yeah.
Just anything goes.
And then cool. There's that. Or it's like an incredibly complicated prank show, which is, what it's going to fucking be.
Ashton Kutcher's in it, isn't he? It's going to pop out and punch me. That's not a prank, Ashton. We've discussed this.
And like Bronson's just watching him and being annoying. And I wrote it's okay to throw rocks at Bronson, which I stand behind.
Because, yeah, Bronson runs down and he's like, quick, get it. And they're like, you can come help. And he goes, I've just eaten. It's dangerous. And I want to add at this point, they're standing in like ankle deep water.
Yeah.
It's not deep at all.
No, that doesn't qualify as swimming.
You're not going out to swim and grab it. It's literally down the shoreline.
Yeah.
There's a lot of huffing and puffing and struggling, and they eventually get it up. And they go, we almost died. Again, me going, ankle deep water. What the fuck?
Like, it's not like you're like a 2-month-old baby.
And Bronson's celebrating with a Bronwich, which is peanut butter and Vegemite, which that's not an awful combo by any means. Like,
honestly, I think I could see people eating that.
Yeah.
But then he puts pickles and cream on it.
Yeah, the later one, pickles and banana cream.
I think whoever made this is like mistaking the stereotypes, because that's a pregnant lady. That's not a fucking 8-year-old kid. if anything, 8-year-old children are fussy eaters that won't.
Although I have known a few
Just weird kids.
weird
who
kids that
eat
just
shit.
eat weird shit.
I suppose.
But I think that's more of a
Weird, gross kid. It's
American
a Bronson
thing because they just have
It's a Bronson thing.
they just had a shitload of weird food and stuff that you can get easily access to. In Australia, we didn't. It was just kind of like you get what you've got.
Australian cereals don't have like marshmallows in them. Still blows my mind.
Yeah, our cereal are not gummy form.
And fucking like, so they're trying to like hacksaw the, because it's got like a lock on it.
Tony's going at it.
Yeah. And I do love like the fine tradition of dad saying fuck it and just grabbing a blowtorch.
He says, "I'm going to use my brain."
Yeah.
Or smarts or something,
Yeah.
and goes and grabs a blowtorch, and Bronson just kind of pulls down on the lock and it comes open.
Yeah.
I say that it was Tony fiddling with it for ages that jimmied it.
Well, yeah, because he was at it with a saw.
Yeah.
Like he cut it. It was ready to come off. It just wasn't like
Bronson's too smug in this episode. He needs
really
to be knocked
is.
down a peg.
Well, it was one of those situations where like usually annoying Bronson is an element of the episode. You know, like usually it's him being an irritating little shit drives events because children are irritating little shits, and that's an easy way to make stuff happen. Whereas this time it's just like it's kind of like incidental irritating Bronson, which is kind of just annoying. When it's not doing something, then I'm just watching a kid that I think you could probably just push over and sit on for a while, just as it's a corrective sitting. You just. Look, I'm just sitting on you until you learn to shut the fuck up for 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah. So they get it open, and inside the trunk, it's clothes. Not any clothes. Circus clothes.
It sounded like you said sex clothes, but circus.
Yeah, circus.
I mean,
Sex clothes.
Are they different clothes, really?
Not really. They fuck in them, so.
Like this, because when I say see movies about this is literally the plot to Clown. Like there is a horror movie that's actually quite good called Clown, and a guy finds a clown costume and puts it on. But it's like the skin to like what the clowns were based on, which is like this monster. And so the clown costume gets on him and he can't take it off.
Right.
And like it's kind of like Venom, but if it were like polka dots and 8 children. And then he becomes the clown.
Why the fuck would you put it on?
I mean, like, I don't think he knew it was like a parasitic clown monster.
Still, why would you find a clown costume and go, hey, a clown costume? And
well, I mean, like, it was, he put it on because he's fucking kid. There was like motivational reasons.
So he didn't find it. Right.
He wasn't just driving along and was like, hey, clown outfit. And Jen just went and put it on.
That's kind of what the Twist family do. They just open it and go, hey, clown costumes.
And they just put them on.
And they just put them on. And then Linda is having a nightmare. She's dressed.
Well, because because they're going through the clown shit, and Linda finds like the stuff for the lady clown.
Yeah.
And already she's got some weird psychic connection to the lady clown outfit. And there was like this vague women can do everything, anything theme, because like they're teasing him about like, she's like, oh man, imagine being a lady clown. And it's like, people would laugh at you. And then Pete was like, isn't that kind of the point? And then she gets narky at him. And then, it was like, I mean, I don't know what the situation was like for lady clowns. I don't know if there was a point where lady clowns were forbidden. I feel like that's just one of those unexplored areas. It's like how no one gives a shit there's like no women truckies really, Like you don't see a lot of stuff like saying, hey, why don't you get like a melanoma on your left arm in a truck? Because no one gives a shit about truckies. Like there's no social cage behind them. It's like with fucking clowns, we don't know. Were they oppressed? Maybe. I mean, I can't imagine in general the carnival life being great. Although Freaks did make it seem quite egalitarian, and it's, there was a strong female pinhead leadership there, so, that was positive.
I mean, hey, if you're a lady with a beard, you got a place.
I mean, like, because I think Freak trumps, like, all the other stuff. Like, if you've got, like, a big weird head, no one cares about the other things. And if it's the 30s and the big weird head means you get put in a fucking show so people can look at it, that will form a bond between you and the other weird head people. And generally, the guy with the no arms and legs who they do a whole scene where the dude rolls a fucking joint with his lips and lights it, which is a heck of a goddamn thing. It's a good movie, Freaks, actually.
Right.
It's very body positive.
It's good. It's good.
And then I also wrote that Bronson spends most of this episode, or most of the start of the episode, dressed like the Fifth Doctor.
It
And
was
it was just a little bit weird. And then, like, so Dad's walking through the fucking, whatever that thing's called, lighthouse at night, and there's moaning coming from, like, Linda's room. And I'm not sure, like, look, I'm not saying I'd be comfortable as a director telling a 13-year-old girl how to moan, but it did not sound like scared moaning.
That was definitely pleasure moaning.
Yeah, and like so then it cuts. Fortunately, it cuts to Linda quickly, and we see that she's having a nightmare of some description. Unfortunately, it then cuts to
nightmare quotations.
Yeah, it cuts to her waking up and just her dad staring at her.
That happened within like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
it's like because he was outside, and then it just cut to that.
It's only me, and it's like, don't enter your moaning teenage child's bedroom,
and then just stare at her.
You don't.
It's only me.
Yeah, just don't do that.
Hello.
Like if they die, they die, but they would rather that than you catching them masturbating.
Oh, I don't think. Actually, I'd like to see that as a deleted scene. Tony walks in on the children.
I thought you were dying. Fucking no. But also, like, if you're fucking rubbing one out at night, don't get loud. That's not the venue for it.
Lighthouse's echo. That would go right around that motherfucker. So yeah, she says she's having a nightmare about the lady clown, and that her name is Elspeth.
That's crazy because I had to look that up, and Elspeth is an actual fucking name.
I've heard it before. I don't know where I've heard it before.
Okay, here we are. It is the Scottish form of Elizabeth. Okay. See, this is the problem with like Scots, is it does in a lot of cases just sound like someone punched English in the face. And like, again, like, because there's argument about whether Scots, and I don't mean like modern Scottish slang, which is thick enough to be almost its own fucking language, or at least like a fucking, English derivative, but like whether or not Scots is a language, because it butted off from English around the 12th century. And that's fairly recent. So a lot of it is very similar in terms of like, it's almost like there are times where it can feel like a slang because it's just like, noun, it's just like word substitution almost. But, they'll argue that no, it's its own distinct language. And to be fair, like, look, 800 years is, enough.
It's a long time, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the sad thing was like the Wikipedia entry on Scots was written by someone who didn't speak Scots and no one knew for ages. And he literally just Google translated it and it was gibberish. And someone found out like last year.
That's funny.
Which is the most Scots story.
Dude, that's great.
So yeah, Elspeth,
yeah. And the great thing is it never comes up again. He's never said again.
Yeah.
During the whole episode.
And okay.
And the male clown we saw at the start, we don't get a name either. At all. Or no story at all.
I think, yeah, well, I mean, like, naming a clown binds them to you. So I wouldn't.
So what you're saying is if I say like bonkers, 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 and the clown appears, he's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
It'll just come to me.
Except I think it's probably a little more like Martians Go Home, where like he's not trying to hurt you, but he's just very annoying. Like you'll be trying to like do something delicately, like, fix a bit of like electronics or something. You need absolute quiet. And then he just pops up next to you and goes, and then just goes away. And then you're fucking nervous because you don't know if he's going to do it again while you're doing this, or if he's going to lean into the fucking, fact that he knows that he's made you paranoid and just not show up again for another couple of days. But yeah, so clown essence seeps into the brains of the family via the clothes, which is why you don't put on fucking found drunk clothes.
And they're all wearing them. They all put them on.
And the thing is, it affects them all. Like, it makes it, again, it really just turns Linda into a mopey alt girl from 1993.
It's just brought on puberty early for Linda.
Yeah, because I'm always trying to, like, think about, all right, like, because sometimes if you plot shit, you can, like, tether some stuff to the theme. And you can coast on that a little bit. So I'm always trying to think about, all right, what's the theme of this, And so there was like there's like a kind of a feminist theme going on, but then that's just abandoned. And then there was like, all right, yeah, like this feels like she's like sad and there's some sort of, quasi love story thing going on. So I was like, maybe this is a puberty theme thing going. But then it's like, well, not really exactly. Like, are clowns a period metaphor? Like, I don't,
Oh no, clowns. It's that time of the month.
Clowns.
Honka honka. Um, yeah, so they're all wearing them. Pete's wearing like an acrobat, sort of like trapeze artist get
Like a
up.
weird old timey trapeze get up. Bronson's in the ringmaster outfit. Horny Dad's dressed as like the fucking lipstick lady from last
The
episode.
best part is he's dressed as a fortune teller.
Yeah.
And he's wearing lipstick. A
Everyone-
fortune teller can be male.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
he didn't need to dress up like that's just him expressing himself.
I mean, maybe the ghost of the fortune. Well, like, so the thing is, I
The
think you're
ghost would
being,
be female.
Yeah, the problem is you're being like, infested
I know.
by the spirits of. I mean, the thing is though, like everyone else has got kind of like gaudy makeup on, whereas like one thing I really noted about like Tony's, like, future reader fucking fortune teller makeup was it was incredibly subtle.
Mm.
And that's how you can tell like a comedy dude in a dress from a transvestite. Is like the transvestite will put the effort in to make that shit actually fucking come together.
Mm. And they say these clothes have powers. And duh.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head there.
Because Tony immediately can see the future.
Yeah.
And like actually, and that's like the rest of the episode is just that's where we get know all from.
Yeah.
It's because he goes, I know all, because he just looks into the fucking like sphere and learns just everything that's going to happen for the rest of the episode. And that is a very clever use of the bullshit in your fucking series as a plot device. Because it gets him out of every possible fucking hole they could get in. It becomes the fucking like mayo that's, keeps the fucking sandwich together. Like,
Yeah, because Tony says that Peter's going to get very wet. And then Linda throws a bucket on him.
Yeah, but it's like confetti water.
Yeah, which was interesting. I thought I was tripping balls at first because I'm sitting there looking, where's the water? And I'm like, oh, it's make-believe water.
That's right. You're just taking your fucking...
I just had my THC oil, so...
I know. I took this big thing of THC oil and then decided to watch an episode about the clown family.
I know. It sounds like a good idea. In theory, what could possibly go wrong with it?
It's not.
See, and Tony says someone special's coming. Oh, wait. Someone's coming.
Yeah, or like someone special is coming, but then someone else is coming. And then the National Party shows up.
Yeah, it says in subtitles, bluegrass music.
It didn't sound like
that was not bluegrass.
It was not
music.
bluegrass. There was no fiddle for starters.
Yeah, and so the National Party shows up, which is Mr. Gribble
and some people from quote Dallas, Texas, by which they mean the Australian with the largest, most sun-damaged head they could find. And fuck it if he can do an accent or not, because it doesn't matter.
He had like 4 words in the episode anyway.
True, but it was not a Texan accent.
No.
And it was not an American accent. And it was barely... I don't know what the fuck it was, man.
Look, dude, it's hard having... Because,
they're
having to fetch exotic people for nearly every single episode with Gribble in it.
Yeah, like really that's something that you need to have a talk to the writers
come
about.
on, we've had Greek dudes with tea towels on their heads. Like, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
You know it is.
You couldn't get free range Middle Easterners in Australia back then. Like you had to. It was just Greek dudes.
We had the boy happy Japanese tourists.
Those you could find. They were about.
Like at least we actually got Asian people for the Asian roles because it could have gone the other way.
That was touch and go.
Yeah,
like the vaguely tanned and it felt like fake tan too. And I don't mean like blackface exactly, like literally the proper fake tan on Greek guys.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is like if you put a Greek dude out in the sun for a while, like they will go coffee brown. Like there's a lot of melanin in the Greek bloodstream because it is a fucking sunny fucking joint.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they just didn't find a tanned Greek dude. Like you can find those if you're trying to like pass for Middle Eastern. Because again, there was also, there's a fair bit of cross-pollination interaction with those groups, Like Turkey, you'd consider kind of Middle Eastern, but they're like sort of Greek, but not. And then there's Cyprus, and I don't know what the fuck that's about. Thank God they found actual Japanese people, because that would have been really fucking bad.
Oh, dude. I'm imagining it.
It wouldn't have been good.
No.
I mean, if the best thing you could hope for is the same Greek dudes.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Just with the tape on the eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, I wrote down bluegrass music. Mr. Gribble's dressed kind of like a cowboy. He had the skull pendant thing with the
Oh yeah, like,
neckerchief
what are those?
thing.
God, I used to know what those
What are
were
they
called. Bolo
called?
tie.
Bolo tie.
Yeah. It's like cowboy formal wear.
So he had one of those. He's trying to. That's the thing I like about Mr. Gribble is every kind of nationality is trying to be accompanying to. Like he's not a bad guy.
Well, he's a salesman.
Yeah.
You know, the only color he respects is green. Or in Australia, yellow, red, blue, purple, and green.
So yeah, he's saying he's talking about them, and they say that the owners are they going to give us any trouble or anything?
Yeah,
because they've got an acquisition order.
Yeah, that
they've been granted to take custody of the lighthouse. I wrote down Faye rocks up as well. Before that, they get to the lighthouse and Bronson opens the door and walks out and goes, "Presenting Madam Dad."
I'm not gonna lie, Madam Dad is fucking funny.
Oh, dude, I lost my shit.
And I think it's actually supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
Which is, so kudos to whatever now probably heroin addicted Australian writer who wrote that. Good for you.
It was a good joke.
Yeah. I'll send $5 to the methadone clinic of your choice.
So Madam Dad comes out. And
it's just good. Madam Dad.
And then Faye rocks up as well. And she wants to go to a concert with Toady Toady. He's like, I know.
Yeah.
And I'll pick you up and he says 8 p.m. just slightly before she does because he can see the future.
Yeah.
And then
sometimes you can also just know where a sentence is going, but yeah.
And then Pete comes in on a unicycle.
Yeah, like this is what, when we were talking about, like, there's a core thing going on and then the other shit's kind of nothing, but it does sort of take up time because, there's nothing for Pete or Bronson to do in this episode. And so what's Pete doing? Pete just shows up on a fucking unicycle, which again, and there's some shots where it's like clearly just not fucking Pete. Like you could have really easily shot this in a way that we didn't just see the circus student's face.
Yeah, because literally he's wearing like a skull cap, like part of the costume, so you can easily hide that.
Yeah, and like the circus people will a lot. If you go to any of these circus schools places, like some of them will be like muscly as all shit in that like wiry, like gymnast way. But then some are just like those weird skinny kids who don't weigh anything, like, and they can pass for a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Easily. So you just get one of those. And they did. And then they shot his face. So we could go, oh, look at that, like fucking adult that's not fucking Pete. And so, Pete, like the reason Tony's not worried about the acquisition order is because he has seen surprisingly far into the future and knows how all of that's going to play out. And I wrote down, like, man, if like a drag outfit allowed me to see the future, I'd wear drag. There's no downside to this.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen? Someone's going to make fun of me? Oh, no. Yeah. I can see your future.
Yeah.
You're going to die in 6 days. What?
I know exactly what you're going to say. I paid 4 writers to like come up with comebacks for this. Like, I'm going to destroy you.
And the other part of this is there was one extra costume. It was the male clown. And
male clown.
They put it on the scarecrow. And every shot with the scarecrow in it, the scarecrow's a little different.
Yeah, so the first, there's the scarecrows in the background of all the foreground, but like not focused.
Because the first time we forgot to mention when that night that closed out with the scarecrow, and he had these big weird googly eyes on him and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right.
And then when after Linda's dream, the eyes were gone and the scarecrow was frowning. And it kept changing slightly.
Well, like, as this is kind of going, like, it'll cut to, like, so after we see Pete on the unicycle, it's like, oh, yeah, what's Linda doing? And she's out the back staring at the fucking clown, or staring at the scarecrow. And, like, it does a close-up on the scarecrow's face, and it's clearly, like, there's like, closed eyes under it. And the scarecrow has, like, because it's like a bodysuit with straw stuck to it, put over a guy. So now the straw's got this like kind of weird fleshy pudge to it, which doesn't look right. And
Just she sees it blink.
yeah. Well, it opens his eyes and it closes them again. And, you know, she's got like, I don't know, fucking telepathic clown brain going on. So she has like a vague idea.
She's drawn to it. And so she's kind of trying to goad the scarecrow into moving again.
Yeah.
And every time she turns around, it's in a different position, which is creepy as fuck as it is. And then it yells. It makes a yelling noise, and then it licks its lips. It's rolling its tongue around, and it's just like, when I say licking lips, I don't mean like a sexy, I'm going to lick my top lip. Like the tongue is flailing around and getting the edges of the lips, and it's just...
Well, also the tongue is having it come through the human lips, out through the scarecrow lips that are made of straw and are like, you know, fairly, you know, protrudingly attached to the face. So the tongue's not really long enough to do this effectively. So it is just like, you know, it's not like if you're going to try and lick your lips in a sexy way, whereas, you know, the tongue can be kind of relaxed. The tongue is having to poke as much as it can to get out, which gives it that like kind of, you know, unnatural, grotesque, like you can just see it's a muscle now, you know, and it's like just jabbing out and going, and then sort of like groping about like the bathtub slime from Ghostbusters 2. And meanwhile, Rain is chased because like Gribble's trying to like say that the people here are normal. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like to me, like, oh yeah, you're not buying the twists. It's like, hey, you want to buy a normal Australian family? And then you show up and they're acting like clowns and you're like, well, this isn't what's advertised. It's like you're kicking them out of the lighthouse and buying the property to turn it into like a hotel or something. I don't care if these people are nut jobs. What relevance is this to me? If anything, they look like they'd enjoy being bundled into a van and sent off into the fucking Australian wilds. You know, but nonetheless, the fact that there's a lighthouse full of clown mutants is bothersome to the Americans, and, you know, the rain shows up, which is part of like Dad's prognostication, and they leave.
Yeah, because Mr. Gribble's like, it never rains in Port
Miranda.
And then they said, well, you better get going. And then it starts raining, and he's still eggy, and he reinforces, it never rains in Port Miranda when it's pissing down rain.
It's pissing down on him. And then the thing is that the rain is like only located in this one location. Yeah. And then meanwhile, and I wrote this down, I never thought I'd say this, but that's a horny scarecrow. And the scarecrow starts screaming like, well, it's a laugh, but it's a laugh with the pitch and tremble of a scream. You know, like it's very high pitched. Yeah. It is very not right. And the next like 5 minutes are legitimately a solid supernatural slasher. Like,
dude, Linda running into the lighthouse, closing the door, then it banging against the window, like the portal of it. I was like, oh, okay. And then she backs away from the door, and it jumps through the circle.
Yeah.
And breaks
in that weird, boneless fucking contortionist way. And then it's just in the house, and it's still cackling and licking its lips. And I'm not sticking around for anything doing that to see what it wants. You know, because, like, the fucking laugh, man. Like, because again, it's like, it's this deranged cackle, it's licking its lips, and it's coming at me. I'm running. I don't fucking,
It chases her upstairs.
Yeah.
She's in her room, and she's listening at the door, and she hears it go past.
Yeah. And she looks outside, and there's like bits of straw on the ground that would suggest that it's sort of, moved on or wandered down the hallway. And then she's clutching a fucking tennis racket, and then the fucking scarecrow's arm grabs her from under the bed.
In the room.
Yeah.
Because it got in when she looked out somehow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a contortionist. I'll give it made of straw. I'll give it that.
She runs out, closes the door, locks it. Yeah. She's got a key. And the thing breaks through the door.
And it's, again, still going and licking its lips.
Yeah.
And just kicks the fucking door through. And like, granted, it's clearly like a door made of like, balsa wood, or not even that. Like, but like, it just destroys the door. And like, well, yeah, now, fuck.
Hey, no, I'm done.
Yeah, she had like a tennis racket with her, but like you need something that's like fire in this situation.
Yes.
I mean,
Straw
especially, yeah.
burns.
And so she's already piss bolted downstairs, so at least she's got half a fucking brain. And then the fucking scarecrow proceeds to use a bit of broken door, put it onto the fucking steps, and it's like kind of long enough and forms a board, and then it just fucking Tony Hawks its way down the fucking spiral staircase.
Laughing all the way.
Yeah, like cackling. It's not laughing. You're going to think laughing and you're going to think, oh yeah, that enjoyable thing that I do. And that like, you'll hear, they like comedy shows use laugh tracks to induce a fucking positive state in human brains. This is not that. This is not like, ah ha ha, look, fucking everybody loves Raymond. This is fucking deranged cackling that is weirdly high pitched.
Yeah. Like, yeah. He comes screaming down that staircase, dude. I want to do that. I'm not going to lie. Like, seeing that, I was like, I want to do that.
That is, yeah, because I was looking at that and I was thinking to myself, that is something that I'd see and then go, I wonder if I can do that at the back steps. Where do I get a bit of door or like a bit of wood that I can stand on, like a fucking fence slat or something?
We need to like get some cardboard and like wax it up and go find a big hill. Like that's this that's the safest thing I can do. And that's still probably not safe for me. So bursts down the door, goes down the thing.
Well, she bolts back outside, and now we meet like
we cut to Nell on the beach.
Yeah.
And she's meets up with Bronson and Pete,
who've just been doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like Pete's just been like jumping onto things, and Bronson's been wandering around shouting about the stuff that he's doing. And Linda's getting chased by a rape clown.
Look, that is the biggest B story you will ever see next to the contrast.
I do love like, oh, what's your day? I got like acrobat powers. What happened to you? A rape clown.
So yeah, Nell sees the clothes and goes, "Where did you get those clothes? Why are you wearing those?"
Of course she knows where the fucking clothes came from.
They're like, what's the big deal? And she says, we found it in a
trunk,
chest.
yeah.
She says, oh, that circus drowned at sea, like in a wreck. It went
Shipwreck
down.
circus was the phrase used, and it's like, where were they going?
And how do you know about this, Nell?
Yeah, because like the thing is, and it felt like something that was going to be something, but then wasn't. Was like it looked like Nell, like because Nell seemed afraid or like perturbed beyond just that's like like it looked like she knew something more, and there was a bigger story, or they were related to it, or like she was raised by that circus or some shit. But it just wasn't. It was just like Nell shows up to explain haunted circus clothes to people who really at this point I think do know that it's haunted circus clothes.
And I love that she goes, because she was talking about the lady clown and the male clown. She's like, the male clown he was in love with the lady, but then she left the circus and she died. And then
I was like, really? They couldn't have just died together in the fucking, maybe he didn't tell her and they died in the fucking shipwreck?
My question is to her, is to the whole process, right?
Yeah.
Because they're getting possessed by the spirits of the clothes.
Yeah.
Because they've obviously got shipwrecked. But she left the circus. Why is her soul there possessing? She didn't go down the shipwreck.
No, there's no
plot hole.
Yeah.
Smoking gun, Paul
maybe
Jennings.
She like moved to fucking like inner Sydney and just lived there. And like, I don't know.
Ghost's just been waiting, hanging around,
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nell left the circus, then she died. And I wrote that down, and I just, that fucking made me cackle.
Because it could have just as easily been like the clown never told her how he felt, and then they both died in a shipwreck. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, because now you've got a reason for like the unrequited lover. She liked him too. Nothing ever happens. Like, that's what's keeping their fucking souls trapped in their pants. It's like, all right, fine. And then Nell just fucking ruins the goddamn story.
Always,
yeah,
always fucking Nell.
I think Nell knows shit. So like, fucking Gribble and the quote Texans show back up again. And he's pointing out how tranquil the area is. And it's really nice. And you know that when a character walks up like this and goes, look at that, it's total tranquility while there's weird shit going on, you know that the weird shit is going to come in and turn that statement, humorously on its head, which is normal. But here it's a psychotic rape clown chasing a child. And I mean, like, look, again, I'm buying the land. I'm not buying the family. But the presence of, you know, horny ghost clowns would be something that would make me think twice.
Mm.
You know, maybe it's something to do with the family. Maybe horny clown ghosts are drawn to this part of Australia. We don't know. And I don't want to have hotel horny clown ghost.
No.
I mean, I could probably fill that hotel these days, but like, you know, that's not a job I expected to have. Is cleaning up a bunch of fucking, you know, clown cum.
Yeah.
It's ectoplasm, Aaron. And that's like I suppose the last episode was about Pete getting molested, so you know,
Gotta have some either, you know,
yeah.
balance.
So it's just Linda's turn to be molested, and the straws are slowly falling off by this point, and we can see like the pale, you know, jiggly clown flesh beneath, and they get, you know, basically the clown chases Linda just around for a bit, and then Linda runs to like Nell and Pete and stuff for help. Which, I mean, look, fair enough. If you know, if I'm Linda, I'm getting something between me and the clown, and I don't care if it's Nell or, you know, Bronson.
And I love that the first thing Nell shouts is, "Take off your clothes!"
Yeah,
and because Linda is just kind of like, "What?"
okay. No, it's like punching a shark on the nose. You know, like the way to like just stun a rapist is to take your clothes off, because that's the last thing they're expecting.
Mm.
And yeah, so she gets the clown outfit off, and he's just sort of sad now, and picks up the, I don't know, pile of loose girlfriend, and sort of mopes with it.
And in comes Tony.
And well, no, Bronson shouts, "He can live with me,"
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
and that is that is a very Bronson statement. It's like,
What are we gonna do with him now?
yeah, what are we gonna do with? Yeah, we've got like, okay, he's not like, clearly there was a misunderstanding, so we don't need to burn him.
He can live with me.
Yeah. I'll keep him under the bed with the other menagerie of weird shit that I fucking got going.
Oh shit.
It's like, no, you're not allowed to keep like a deranged clown spirit. That's not the way this works.
And then Tony comes in,
Yeah.
in his car, and you're like, "Dad," and he goes, "I know."
Yeah, like this is what I mean when I say like resolving a plot is super fucking easy when one of your characters knows the plot.
Mm.
You know, it's like fucking there was that bit where Hannibal was popular and every show just had like, was meant to be clever by being about like the inner life of the mind. But then it's just like a really easy writing shortcut when you can just have your characters say how they feel to the fucking screen, basically.
Yeah.
It was just that. Dad just rose up, "I've got the solution to this." Oh, okay. And I was like, the final resolution of a horny dad was he's going to fuck the clown made of lawn clippings.
And I do like they said, "You're becoming a bit of a know-all."
Right. Yeah,
And
no
it's
one
like,
ever,
they
yeah.
said the title.
Just say know-it-all. No one says know-all, dipshits. And then, like, the thing is, while, like, you know, Dad's building a clown wife, the sad clown is just staring at him. And again, it's not in a way that's, like, explicitly creepy, but it's like, I don't want to be stared at while I'm fucking building a clown wife, you know? It's making me uncomfortable. And then, yeah, they fucking, you know, they put the outfit on the mannequin that, like, Dad was fiddling with earlier. And then it just comes to life because fucking, you know, Port Miranda's fucking weird. And then she just goes backflipping off to...
They're making awful noises the whole time.
Yeah, like, that's the other weird thing, too. Is
Because
like,
they don't talk.
No, yeah, it's not like this is... The treatment of the clowns is as though a clown is like a faintly separate species, which, you know, I've been maintaining for a while. Because they're almost extinct in Ireland. They can't get, like, clowns in Ireland. And I was like, yeah, because breeding them in captivity is very difficult. You know, it's like camels. Australia has, like, the only pure population of camels left, you know? So people will, like, import Australian camels, even though we imported them originally. You know, with Australia's feral clown population, you know, you can take those. We got plenty of them, you know? The fucking things are all over the joint.
Worse problem than homeless. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got more clowns than tops, I think. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, that's we're out of we need to start building more fucking, you know, big tops.
Maybe if we build the biggest top, they will come. Just migrate there.
The largest of tops.
So yeah, the clown comes to life. They backflip and they're making these awful weird groaning
Yeah, and then it's like,
noises.
where are we going to... Yeah, now you got 2 fucking clowns.
Yeah, this
And it's
isn't solved.
Yeah, what are you going to do with this? And then Bronson shouts, they can live with me. And it's like, I don't want Bronson learning about sex from clowns.
Because they're just going to fuck the whole time.
Yeah.
They're horny clown spirits that couldn't be together. Like, it's all they're going to do. Let's be real.
So the solution for the ghost / possibly alternate species of mutant immortal clown was to take them to just a circus they found, which again was green screened because they couldn't be bothered going and finding an actual fucking circus.
But on the
or a big
way,
top.
they meet Mr. Gribble because Mr. Gribble.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So what happened when they
have,
saw
like,
the
some closure.
clown chasing Linda? Mr. Gribble left his Texans,
Yeah,
ran and jumped in the truck and drove away, and left them there, and they ran after him. So here he's trying to sell them another bit of land that's inland.
that's not near the fucking clown infestation.
But there's a scarecrow in the
Yeah.
yard, so the tourists go, oh, and they jump in the truck and drive off. And
Yeah, I
leave him
mean, I've
there.
already seen a scarecrow come to life today. I'm not like, I'm not sticking around for this one,
So yeah, the Twist family show up and
to give him a lift.
give him a lift. Says, "Oh, Harold, get in the back," and he comes to the back, and there's the 2 clowns, just giggling away, just
not
making
speaking
noises,
in human speech, just making noises.
Oh, dude.
And then he goes to shake the hand of the male clown, and the hand comes off because it's a clown.
Yeah,
And then they drive away, which is fun because Gribble can get fucked.
yeah, and then they take them to the CGI, well, not CGI, but green
Yeah.
screen
I know.
circus because it's
A
literally just
JPEG of a
footage
circus.
of circus.
It's,
They
footage
probably
implies
found.
it was in motion.
Yeah, sorry.
like it's a still image.
Still.
It's a fucking JPEG of a goddamn circus, and they just leave the clowns and the fucking thing, and the clowns are like, oh yeah, hey, a circus, and they just wander in, presumably to perform. And
No, they wandered in and slaughtered everyone. Let's be real.
well, I got to it's like this is just because like again, it's like the pro wrestling thing. Like the Carney shit is like all so secretive and stuff that this could just be where clowns come from. No carnival has ever paid a clown in human money. And no carnival, ever asks where the clowns come from or where they go. There's just new clowns.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Clown Eye Joe?
And
Yeah.
like just that's it. It's like, oh yeah, we fucking put the clowns like they don't go to like some kind of weird ghost circus that pops up every like fucking year, once a year.
It's just a
I'd
normal
go to a
fucking
ghost
circus.
Yeah, like they should just have. Oh yeah, what happened? Well, because like other people drowned in that shipwreck.
Yeah.
There were some other outfits in. Like what about the ghost of the fucking fortune teller, or the ghost of the ringmaster, or the ghost of the acrobat?
Bronson just kept the clothes and just is going to be a ringmaster through the season.
I mean, like being able to just put on a weird little outfit and get acrobat abilities is pretty sweet too.
I wouldn't give away the fortune telling one,
Oh,
as
fuck
you
no.
said. Like
Yeah.
that's just like if you can see
I'm-
the future.
I'm going to chain the ghost of the fortune teller to me.
Yeah,
And we're gonna fucking, gonna learn some shit.
gonna learn the lotto numbers.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be easy. Like, and then, I don't know, if I'd get mine and then, put the fortune teller onto a mannequin or something that can go to the ghost circus. I would go to a ghost circus.
Yeah,
I won't go to a circus.
no,
Like, I respect a lot of the skills involved in circus, but it's also like, in 2021, it's an odd thing,
we have TV.
We have
And
we have literally
many,
everything else.
many
And like,
more
look,
forms.
don't get me wrong. There is something, it's like when people talk about like, people, won't go to the movies. And it's like, well, no, I like going to the movies because it's a thing,
It's a giant ass screen, and I get to see the things I
That
like.
and it's
but
like
giant.
leaving the house. It's a
It's
thing.
an event.
Yeah, it's an event. It's like I'm going out. I'm going to go to a fucking movie. Like there is. That with circuses. The thing is, it's tiered now into that. There's like 2 kinds of circus basically. There's like fucking Cirque du Soleil or some shit where they have like basically the X-Men do fucking acrobatics for you, and then there's other, and that other is fucking depressing.
Yeah,
Like you can just tell because they're not allowed to have like fucking elephants anymore because like, they're too smart, and they're not allowed to have tigers because there's no way they're looking after them well. And so the animals are gone, which was like kind of one of the big selling points because like where else are you going to see elephants really? Because like
I don't even know what you'd see at a circus.
again, like there is a feature to it of being live. So they'll have clowns do like an act And then they'll have like, the fucking acrobats do
And
some
then
shit.
they'll probably just have like Sideshow Alley, right? Kind of like the Eka.
Not really. Like some of them might have rides, but like they don't really.
No,
they don't really,
not like rides, but like the stalls with like the clown heads and shit.
Yeah, some of them will have that, but like really, it's it's more about like you're going to see a performance. So you're going to go see maybe some contortionists, like clowns, some trapeze.
That's just not for me.
I mean, like again, it's so some of it is certainly novel and it's a skill and whatnot, but it's like also clowns have held on long after like fucking vaudeville went away.
That's true.
But
you know what else is also novel and a skill?
Eh.
Jacking off.
I mean, I think it can be refined into a skill, certainly.
So there is I could do that and just stay home. And I don't know. As I said, the circus is just not for me. It's not something I would enjoy. I recall going to a circus when I was younger.
Yeah, like I've been to, because I was like, 5 in 1988, and that was back in a period, I was pre-internet and shit. Like if you wanted to see something fucking weird, you had to go to a circus, like, and like, oh god, it wasn't even, it was probably like, fucking, it's probably like 15, 16 years ago now, but there was like a circus in like, and they like, they set up in weird places these days. Like, there's just this big lawn area in fucking Oxley, and they just set up there one time. But the good thing was they had like 3 elephants, and like my dog at that time, I don't know. So the dog was still alive, so it had to be 2000.
Still alive till it got stepped on by the elephant.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was like real old, right? So it's like this 13-year-old.
So the elephant just crunched her super easy.
Just like, but she's 13 years old, right? And so she's like, kind of like got off. She's coming to the end of her life, basically. And then we take her for a walk down to the circus so she can see elephants. Because, this dog hasn't fucking seen anything fucking like this. Just blows, my poor dog's fucking mind. Like, just no idea what the fuck is looking at. Like, didn't know things could get that big. Like, and to be fair, I was like, oh, look at that. It's a fucking elephant. Like, it is kind of cool. But, like, you can go to, like, the fucking Australia Zoo and they have elephants and they let you feed them.
Yeah.
And they give you a bucket. It's like, here's an elephant feeding, and you pick up a bit of apple and you put it there and it wraps its fucking tusk and it gets the elephant, the apple, and it's happy. And it's, they look like they're looked after.
Yeah. Oh, no, they are.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not paying $100 to go to a fucking zoo.
I mean, it's one of those things that, like, that's the thing is, I'm not doing this once a fucking weekend or once a year.
I know, but like, dude, like when I went to San Diego and like went to San Diego Zoo, it wasn't that expensive to get in. Like when I went to the zoo in Sydney, Taronga?
Yeah, Taronga.
It was like around $30 to get in or something, $20, $30. Not nearly 100. Like I understand the quality.
Australia Zoo is good,
I understand why it's expensive.
They have a lot of staff that do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like the reasoning's there. It's just for me, like I can't personally justify that. Yeah. Because it is here as well.
It's worthwhile to do once.
Yeah.
Because you will see some shit, and you get to touch a fucking elephant.
Yeah, like I'd take my daughter there, and that's probably about it. Like me, I'd rather spend that money and go to like Dreamworld.
Yeah. So this was like a weirdly focused episode because the thing it was about at the start carried through to the end. I mean, like,
imagine that.
By Round the Twist standards, it was one of the better episodes because it flowed. It wasn't jumping around a lot. There was like a single point. I mean, it was weird, but like, okay, that's sort of what you were expecting. The show's called Round the Twist, not Up the Street.
Yeah. It is honestly something that I felt was one of the few episodes so far that could have really, it was good, but it could have even been better if it had a little bit more time. Just a little bit. Like it doesn't need much.
Maybe find an excuse to just like get, like how they sent Linda, to the bush in the dream dimension.
Yeah.
And just got like the rest of the family out of the way for a bit.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Or, again, something like just thinking about like what theme you're dealing with rather than just sort of having them accidentally crop up occasionally. Or, because I mean, the bit where the clown was like stalking her through the house, that was solid.
That was really good.
That's a solid piece of, you're being chased by a frightening murder clown and it's creepy and it's weird. And, considering that was being produced for, primary school aged children, not bad. Like that probably gave children nightmares. and I can only support and respect things that terrify and traumatize infants.
I remember the clown. I remember that clown's face. In particularly when the first time it comes alive and its face, as you said, looks, pudgy and puffed.
Yeah.
That in particular is very scary because it just looks like they put shaving cream on it underneath.
There's that fleshy chub to it.
I remember that face distinctively. I don't know if I have a nightmare about it, but I remember that.
I remembered fucking Linda's outfit. That's burnt in my head because she's got the makeup on and everything. And it's just like, yeah, like if you go back and like look at like some Four Non Blondes music videos and shit.
I said, hey.
Yeah, they did they did what you'll all know as the He-Man song.
What's going on?
Or like very early promotional stills for Blossom. Like it's so weirdly distinct and it lasted really for only like a few years.
It's bizarre.
It kind of like grunge, I think, just dominated it really quickly. Yeah. But yeah, that was where people actually went around looking like that.
Wild.
All right. So now we all have to work out whether or not any of us have ever felt like this. So I have to answer the question.
What is
your personal recipe, Aaron? What's your Bronwich?
Yeah, so what kind of food you're known for?
Yeah, like what, or something you put a little bit of personal flair on. What's a dish that you like, and how do you make it? Have you ever been scared by a clown, or have you ever had your fortune read / future predicted?
And my bonus question is. Have you ever had sex with a clown or been in a relationship with a clown?
Okay, so what's your personal...
are you a clown? If you are...
Well, yeah, we'll have... Because there's got to be at least one. I'm just like, I've learned to just assume the weirdest about the audience now.
Yeah.
I'm assuming out there someone who's either a professional clown or has studied... Because like again, it's one of those things that you can fucking study. Like it's a branch of theatrics, and like when you see someone who's actually studied some of this shit, it is interesting. Because like the only other security guard I ever worked with who had been to university had of all things studied drama, and had a minor in mime, and
fucking stellar.
Oh yeah, no, like the thing is he could do this whole act where he sucked a dick, but like in that old French mime way.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, okay, that sounds like, this was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he's doing all the weird motions and the movements and the shit, except it's like him unzipping a fly and then being surprised and then, like doing just fingering the butt, like this whole thing, but like a goddamn
You know
mime.
what? I don't like mimes, but I like mimery. Because I like...
yeah, it's the face paint is the thing. Things that like tamper with how we perceive faces will immediately trigger like an animal, like what's that problem? Because it's a big part in how we like sense other human beings.
Because I like all the movement and stuff, but it's you're right. The face always makes me upset.
So yeah, what's your personal recipe? What's something you put
you
a little bit
answer
of Aaron's
first because I'm
flavor
trying to think.
Well, I cook a fair bit. Like,
I know that's why I thought it might be easier for you.
Yeah, well, I mean trying to nail myself down to one. Is
all right,
kind of
I've got it.
Okay,
lasagna bread.
Okay, is it just lasagna?
I used to have a bread cooker, and I
Huh.
used to just put lasagna in the bread cooker.
Like already made lasagna or the ingredients for lasagna?
Ingredients, like an already made lasagna.
Fucking. And then the bread ingredients.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mixed it together.
Oh. That's not as dumb
Made
as it sounded
lasagna
at the
bread.
start.
Yeah, it was good. And it fucked the bread maker every time because it was not good for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my heavy stoner period.
I was gonna say that feels like stoner food.
Yeah.
Like I used to like get really high and then make chocolate cakes because it's just flour and sugar and cocoa and some vanilla essence and like 2 eggs. And I was like, oh yeah, there you go, it's a chocolate cake. And then after like doing this for like months, I realized I can just eat the fucking mix. No one's gonna tell me I'm not allowed to have. No one's around to smack my fingers anymore. Like I was 17 at this point. So like, I'm just like, oh yeah, no one's here to fucking tell me not to just eat cake mix. And
Kind of, you know that part from Futurama where Fry puts cereal on his head and starts eating it, and Ben is going, "Go man, go,
go man, go." Yeah,
that's just what I got you of just pouring the cake mix into your mouth.
Like me, like after having 3 buckets with like a cake mix bowl, a spoon, and just sitting down to watch like Conan O'Brien. That's a fun evening. I don't know. I cook a lot because like, I like to eat, but like if you want to buy like food that's already made, it's more expensive than buying it in its unmade form. So if you buy unmade foods, you can eat well, but then you have to fucking cook it. I don't know. I make a lot. Like I do like making like things that you can just put in a Tupperware container and then like get out later. So I make a lot of pasta.
Yeah, but what's your personal
Well,
flair?
yeah, I'm getting there. So I'm getting like I make usually chili,
right?
and I'll make it using like kangaroo meat because that I think is a really good meat for chili because it has it's got kind of a depth of flavor on its own, but it takes to spices really well.
Right.
And I have a very aggressive palate that likes a lot of spices. So I put like a cup of fucking cumin in this shit. Like I say, the fucking recipes, and you're like, I put a bit of garlic in. It's like, fuck you, I put 2 whole goddamn knobs of garlic in this fucking shit. Put shitloads of fucking cumin in it. A solid dose of smoked paprika. You don't want fucking sweet paprika is bullshit, and Hungarian paprika is ethnic bullshit. You want smoked paprika, and then put a lot of onion and a lot of garlic, and then you can do stuff after that. But then basically you've got like this thick kind of brown red paste that is incredibly nutrient dense, and you can just kind of put into a tortilla or over corn chips if I feel like being a fat cunt.
Right.
And that's that. Yeah.
Does it have a name?
No, I don't really like naming any of my shit. Like, because to me, I don't need to name it because I know what it is. I'm gonna make chili.
I'm gonna call it chili a la Gabe. There you go.
All right.
Okay. What was the second question?
Have you ever been scared by a clown?
Yes, the fucking one around the twist. Like when I was young.
The exact clown we're talking about.
Yeah. But I don't find clowns scary.
Yeah. I think the primary problem is like you can see the eyes. There was I keep meaning to look it up. There was something I can't remember what it was. It was like some weird fucking kids thing on the ABC. But like it was about either a jester or I think it was a jester. And he'd like been a doll or something and come to life. And there was this fucking jack-in-a-box thing that was trying to get him. And, at the end, it kind of popped out of the box. It was like this weird, big fucking head, Muppet-looking head kind of thing. But, like, its eyes were mirrors.
Right.
And as a kid, that scared the absolute shivering bejesus out of me. And then it, like, headbutt the fucking jester, a bunch. And I think sucked him into some horrible other dimension. And I didn't like the idea that something with mirror eyes could yoink me out of this reality and send me to its own bizarre private hell. And like that other dimension, I was like, where are you now? You're in just a place where the rules are made by the fucking horrible goblin that put you here. And it's like, that fucking gives me the willies. And I was like, 4 or something shit. Like, I was a very young child. That mirror eye thing fucking scared the bejesus out of me, man.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's like when you fuck with the eyes, like... Although there is this thing, like, I don't know what the fuck it's about exactly. Like, I keep meaning to do sort of more research into it because it's fascinating. But, like, they're not transvestites, they're not transgender, they're called maskers, and they wear these, like, plastic fucking lady faces.
Oh.
Yeah, it's legitimately horrifying. Like, because it's a fake face with dead eyes, and they wear it, and then they wear, like, a Jessica Rabbit dress over the plastic and shit, and it is just the creepiest goddamn thing. Like, if I were walking down, like, a quiet street and turned a corner and just saw, like, 3 of those having a conversation, I would turn the fuck around. Like, I'm just not dealing with that. Have you ever had your fortune read or your future predicted?
No.
I used the fortune machine at the Ripley's Believe It or Not on the Gold Coast. I still have the fortune because it's just a novelty. I can't even remember what it fucking said. Because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, literally all of them. And it's kind of a bummer that stuff persists into the modern day.
It is.
People still do that. People still pay like through the fucking teeth.
So what you're saying is I should become a fortune teller.
Fucking yeah.
I'm an internet fortune teller.
Yeah.
Give me your credit card number. And I will make all your fortunes. But yeah, no, not for me. I think that's it for questions, isn't it?
Yeah. And the other one is like, are you a clown? You have to tell us.
you gotta tell us if you're a clown.
Legally, you have to tell us if you're clowns.
Yeah. So have you ever had sex with or been in a relationship with a clown?
Shit.
Wait, what?
Okay, technically, yes on that first one.
Oh, okay. Heating up.
Well, okay, so as we all know, in the mid-90s, for the television series Batman, what was it, Paul Dini? Yeah, created, just innocently created a little jester sidekick for Joker to have called Harley Quinn. I maintain that she is the first Juggalo.
Jugga Jugga Whoop.
And she became the girl version of Deadpool in that it's a costume girls can put on and then get away with like the stuff they'd do if they had self-esteem. And I have slept with at least 2 of those.
That's not really a clown. Like I meant like, their occupation was a clown.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but it's still like, and this was before like, the whatever her name is, the DC cinematic version of her.
Margot Robbie.
Like, the Margot Robbie version. So it was before that, which is nice because I don't really.
There you go. There's a female actor I remember.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember shit. But I remember her. It's because she's got a very distinct name, I think.
I mean, like, I like the present. I like her version of, Harley Quinn enough. I think it's fine. But like, just that outfit, like, it's the one really good joke in Hubie Halloween. Is every girl on Halloween is dressed as Daddy's little monster, and it's all of them. It's very fucking funny. Because Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Okay. Do we have some reader emails?
Yes. Okay. So we have one.
You've got mail
from Kaiba regarding: have you ever felt surprised by your strength? Not that I was surprised by how strong I was, but surprised at how weak I was.
Okay.
I mean, really, I should have expected this from our listeners. I was doing a COVID job and I was basically a garbo. I was putting hard rubbish onto a truck. The truck compresses it. When the truck is full, it goes to the tip. Okay. The loads usually consist of cheap Bunnings barbecues and fridges, along with the other crap that people throw out. Anyway, I was struggling to throw the 5th barbecue, and the driver, a middle-aged Maori, came out and chucked it in the back with ease. Almost one-handed, and then just demolished the pile like it was nothing. I was shocked at how weak I felt. I was like, yeah.
That was a very vanilla story. Like, compared to some of the other stories we've had, I just want to say.
Anyway, stay excellent.
Thanks, Kaiba.
Okay, so this next one. I mean, okay, I'm going to assume, you've used your name a fair bit in this, so I'm just going to assume it's okay to say it. It doesn't say anything else, so I don't know, on your own head be it. Hello, Twisty Boys. My name is Wyatt, and I have indeed demonstrated some shocking feats of strength for my size. For context, I am about 5'8" and 180 pounds, which is 172 centimeters and 81 kilograms in, he says fake measurements, but like, whatever, champ, you use wizard's feet. And work the recycling department in a furniture warehouse. I have a rather small frame, and the strength I have gained at the job has thrown off a few of my peers. One time while working, I took an entire sofa and flipped it end over end to get to the bits that I needed in the truck, which my coworker saw and commented on how he always forgets just how strong I actually am. I have seldom wound up naked without intent. All right, well, that took a fucking hard left turn.
Fucking all right. Swerve.
I've seldom wound up naked without my intent. Huh? No, that's all right. I didn't just stroke out and miss a bit. All right. And less so where I shouldn't. So any story I have of that is just long gone from my brain. Oh, okay, it's related to that. I have bet on a horse race as a child, and the experience was, I don't know, probably just average. I can't imagine having a story for that other than having done it. Your personal femboy forever, Wyatt.
Thanks, Wyatt. Naked boy.
Not wound up. Okay. All right, so this was for sudden first kissing. Hi, you make up a name. It's funnier. All right, I'm calling you Shit Biscuit. I did get kissed suddenly once at my first party with serious drinking. I was very pure during high school, so this wasn't until university. It was near the start of the party. We were all at the drinks table, and the other students got surprised I'd be drinking. The girl came in and kissed me. I stood there not knowing what to do with it. She pulled back, probably figuring, okay, he's not into it. Most of the group was watching. A couple said stuff like, should have gone for it, and at the same time, I was thinking, wouldn't that be creepy? Looking back, I was startlingly tense, but even these days I tend to shut down and go quiet in new situations. The party was otherwise good. A lot of the older students looked after me. To be honest, kind of glad my drinking didn't start around the high school idiots. As a bonus, this was also my first kiss. Cheers.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that verges on wholesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I have slightly felt like this. All right.
Ooh, okay.
This is from Crystal Brooks. Hi, guys. Feel free to use my name. I probably saw the whole series at some point, but the first episodes you covered that I remember seeing were Lucky Lips and Santa Claus. There will be no molestation or trauma in this. That's nice. That's a nice change. Also, no masturbation. Anyway, I'll just start with having felt like this all the way from episode 1 or 2 because you'll enjoy it. That's a bold claim. I'm about the same age as you guys, so when I was in school, there was no cyber to the bullying. Aside from punching and insults because I weighed about 4 kilos in high school, one of the fun things was lifting me for wrestling moves and dumping me onto a shrubbery. A shrubbery? That is a very specific word choice.
Good.
And that is very funny. One time they went for a power bomb, but their hand slipped on my jacket and they just dropped me on the dirt ground while I was upside down, basically doing the Gonzo bomb / Kawada driver. Yeah, you don't want that one. So Kawada had a broken arm when he tried to power bomb somebody, and then oh no, it wasn't. Was it Kawada? He the one copping it. No, yeah, it was. It was just basically it was a botched power bomb done into a neck drop.
Right.
Because during that period, the Japanese were doing everything they could to destroy the human neck.
Wait, while he had a broken arm.
Well, he was trying to do the power bomb. The guy with the arm injury was trying to do the power bomb, and so there's a lot of debate about whether or not the guy he was doing it to kind of sandbagged him and didn't do the sit up part, But with a regular power bomb, they flip up and the head points toward the ceiling, and you plant a person down onto their back. And honestly, if it's done properly, it's one of the safer things that you can, have done to you. There are some ways it can be done not properly. One of them is if you get slammed, if the butt gets down before the rest of you, you effectively power flick someone's skull into the ground, which is real unpleasant.
Yeah.
And the other alternative is if the head drops way too early, you're effectively spear tackled. You just neck drop basically straight into the ground. And that's what the Ganzo bomb is. As for the most recent episode, my first kiss was in primary school, just a fairly chaste kiss on the lips from another girl. It was a Christian school, so I assume I had a teacher seen as we would have been burned at the stake. That's unsurprising. As for a surprising kiss as a young adult, I went to an anime convention and an Asian girl, also a young adult but slightly younger than me probably, briefly kissed me because I brought a book that published a manga she wrote. Okay. Again, it was really brief and chaste, but I wasn't expecting it and didn't realize I was advertising how gay I was. Nothing interesting at carnivals. No kissing booths, and I can only assume it's for the best. Yeah. Again, the Christian primary school, there was a school disco, but it was pretty much a non-event. Some dancing, some attempts at being fashionable or stylish for a group of people who normally wore an ugly green uniform. It was only interesting in that it was different at all from normal. From Crystal. Dear Titty Twisters, you can call me Craven, or Craven the Hunted. Except it's spelt with a C, so, not like Craven as in like scary fucking hunter guy with a beard, but Craven.
Man, I'm craving some fucking Hungry Jacks.
Craven the Hunted, as I was dubbed by Gabe in your Turok playthrough video. Other people remember big chunks of my life far more than I do, man. Good
Dude,
for
it's
someone
like-
has to.
Fucking, can you guys start remembering my life too? Like I'm forgetting what was last week.
I'm glad your podcast has brought the existence of Round the Twist to my attention. It gives me a similar feeling those 90s American Canadian Nickelodeon shows like Salute Your Shorts and Are You Afraid of the Dark did, with a light peppering of a fevered dream. Anyway, on to the answers for this episode. Have you ever been kissed startlingly? Not that I recall, but my older sister insists that one of her friends, when she was a teen and I was about 9, tried to chase me down and kiss me once, but I got away.
But I got away.
I know. Well, that and like, again, that's another one of those ones where it's like you can't invert the genders on that. It's just not as funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, teenage boy pinned me down and made out my face. It's like, yeah, it's... Do you remember your first kiss? Yes, I was 12. My girlfriend, age 13, at the time was over at my house because we had to rehearse lines for our school Christmas play. She asked me if I was going to kiss her, expectantly, I guess looking back, and I did, reluctantly, because I was a spaz, still clinging to the girls are gross mentality into puberty. How did you have a girlfriend if girls were gross? This is baffling to me.
Yeah,
What's the point of
that's
that?
weird.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. It tasted like apples because she was drinking apple juice. I ended up kissing her 4 times that night. The 3rd time felt weird because she was trying to French me. Then immediately after, she just asked me to let her French me, to which I complied. It was okay. Just go with it. Just let it happen. Have you ever gotten lucky at a carnival? No, but I know a girl who got fingered by a date in the Ferris wheel. She was going to bang him later, but then puked on the zipper ride, and she lost the mood. Fair enough.
Yep.
Have you ever gone to a school dance? No. From very early on, I hated school and most of my peers and didn't want to spend any time with them outside of when I had to. In middle school, a girl gave me a note asking me to go to a Halloween dance with her. I was a turbo douchebag at the time, and I threw it away and stopped talking to her. I felt bad about it a week later and still do to this day.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
I should feel bad about that again now.
Turbo douche. I like that you
Fucking
describe
turbo douche.
yourself as a turbo douche. Like, what makes one turbo douche? Because in my mind, turbo is like charged up and fast and stuff, where you run around insulting people really fast.
Maybe he threw it away really quickly.
Maybe.
Question from the last episode I wanted to answer but didn't get to right on time. Have you ever put your underwear in the microwave? No, but someone I work with did. After he'd been working in the rain all day and was completely soaked through, he threw his underwear into the microwave at work to dry them off, which he told me he had done after I had already put my food in the microwave and started heating it. It was a covered TV dinner, so I said, oh fucking well, and hoped that it would be mostly safe from the leftover balls, taint, and ass particles, and ate it anyway. Didn't affect the taste, and I didn't get sick or die, so I guess it turned out okay. I feel like the microwave would purify ass particles.
I'd hope so.
You'd hope. Like, if it's going to do something,
Yeah.
I mean, it'll irradiate the taint particles and give them powers, but, that's just, that's the fucking give and take of it.
These green toxic pubes.
Thinking on those last 2 answers, I guess I did the girl whose note I tossed a favor and saved her from going out with a guy who would one day eat food steamed with ball sweat. By the same token, my sympathies to the girl who gave me my first kiss for kissing a boy who would one day eat ass steamed food. Aaron, thanks for being a cool dude, and you're setting up Keep It Classy and bringing a flavor of entertainment to the world. Giving Gabe an outlet to continue to flaunt his superiority to the masses is also a good public service, and I thank you for it.
You're welcome.
Take care and keep on keeping on, Craven.
Thank you. I enjoyed your email.
Aaron and Gabe, long-time listener and fan who migrated over. When LDO was going, I was going through some pretty significant career upheaval. Those videos were a bright spot in my stressful weeks, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. I've never watched Around the Twist, but without context, these podcasts are both surreal and hilarious. I have felt like the following. Have you ever ended up naked where you shouldn't be? I'm told that when I was 2 or 3, I fully dropped my drawers and pissed against a large boulder. This boulder was on our own local golf course right next to the main building, where a crowd had gathered for the end of the tournament going on that day. I have no recollection of this event myself. What was your best Christmas present? A Game Boy Color with several games. It was my first real gaming platform. Prior to this, my only options were a couple of arcade machines on the weekends and early 90s Learning Company games on our dated family PC. Side note, this PC had shipped with Windows 3.1, and my family thought it was good enough to simply install Windows 95 on.
Ooh.
It wasn't. Any new games and many old games weren't playable on this PC by 1997. This Game Boy was my only game platform for a number of years. It was my intro to many Nintendo properties, like Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Pokemon, and I had friends with the same games to discuss and commiserate for the first time. Have I felt ugly or pretty? In middle school, I was in a half-empty classroom waiting for class to start when I overheard 2 classmates, call them girls A and B, from across the room. Girl A was recalling a conversation she'd had before with class with girl C, someone who I actually did find attractive, but had never said so to anyone. It went something like this. Girl A. I asked Girl C, do you know who likes you? And Girl C just said, if you say so-and-so, I'm going to hit you. Wait, isn't he sitting right there? Girl A froze and the conversation stopped. I think she genuinely felt bad I'd heard. I said nothing and didn't react. Class started shortly after that. I know that this doesn't necessarily mean Girl C found me physically ugly, but what little confidence I had plummeted regardless. Yeah, fair enough, that'd suck.
That's fucking rough.
What you mean, Ugmoplex over there? Just call me Matt, or whatever else seems funnier than just Matt. Eat shit, Matt. Hey chaps, I adore your show. The chemistry you share and the bizarrely wholesome you guys occasionally are. Keep it up. We could all use a dose of humor these days. I have demonstrated tremendous strength exactly once in my memory. I have always had exercise-induced asthma, but back in the day, as you might remember, asthma inhalers were straight steroids. We were running for my gym class and I was somehow neck and neck with a kid known primarily as the Berserker. It's amazing. He played football, had a bitchin' mohawk, and got suspended for more fights than the rest of the team combined. All right, like, I thought that was like no, that's a berserker. You have a berserker. Yeah, you've got an actual berserker there in your class. I was none of those things. Somehow, though, he and I were tied. He glared at me, and I needed to use my inhaler anyway at that point, but I refused to stop running. Somehow, the combination of inhaled steroid and pure spite pushed me to sprint the last quarter of the run as fast as I humanly could, and I beat him by about a second. He gave me a manly nod, and I went to throw up in a bush. I imagine the berserker then ate the throw up. It's just
gave him more power.
Yeah, just as a pure display of dominance, just went over and ate it. 2. I've been naked in my own home plenty. I was once naked at night going to get a snack out of the fridge. I had a conversation with a housemate using the fridge door to hide my nudity. It was a far longer conversation than I wanted it to be. 3. Japanese tourists photographed me and my twin brother in Washington, D.C. Something about our Mario and Luigi shirts, I guess.
That's weird.
Yes, they met Mario and Luigi. I'd get a photo of that too. Especially like back then. Now it's like, yeah, I can meet Mario and Luigi anywhere. I saw a guy at Caboolture Station one time in like a Waluigi hat. It was like, that was, the rest of him looked like an emo, but he was just wearing this fucking like, this cartoon quality Waluigi hat, and it just disrupted me. Hello, Barton Millhouse. Kaiba here. Wait a minute. Didn't I read some of yours before? I had been to a school disco, but it was in grade 5 or 6. My friends and I were like, dancing is gay. I don't want to dance. Even though looking back, I think a lot of the boys wanted to. Well, then they're gay, but that's okay. The teachers also put on, I think, Shrek or Shark Tale in another room, and there were some kids watching that. I think at the end, a lot of kids danced to the tunes of 2005/6 pop songs. Mm-hmm. I have had an experience with a gypsy at a bogan country fete in the border town between Victoria and New South Wales. I don't think the person was an actual gypsy. Probably not. They were one of the organizers, and I think they dressed up as one. She looked like the fortune teller booth character from Futurama. The middle-aged bogan men and women thought it was a funny and that person dresses up to look funny way. I did heat up my underpants in the microwave. I used to do that when I was like 13 or 14, right before school. I didn't do it because of Round the Twist, but I think because of Fairly Odd Parents or Danny Phantom. I don't know what either of those things are. Cheers, guys.
Wait, what was the first videos.
One? Fairly Odd Parents or Danny Phantom. Oh, Fairy Odd Parents. Okay. Oh, wait. I think I've seen pictures of that one. I think I've seen. I might be getting Danny Phantom mixed up with Ben 10 or some shit. This is all post. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network for me was like fucking original Run Dexter. And
I don't like the idea of you getting
shit.
2 Kyber emails in one episode.
Neither do I. It's a mail in a jar with a turd in it. And that is the unfortunate. I mean, actually, you know what? This time around, those were actually better.
Yeah.
They were shorter. There was some structure to them. I didn't have to feel like I was going to find out somebody was molested.
Yeah, we're not your therapists, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good.
I mean, we'll do it if you fucking crank the...
Again,
I'll be someone's... I'll completely be someone's unlicensed therapist for like, if the Patreon gets
we'll
up.
get a virtual couch.
Yeah. I don't need to be live. I just have to tell you I'm not a licensed therapist.
Yeah.
I mean, my advice is probably better.
I think I with 100%.
Yeah.
What's the word for guaranteed? That's not guaranteed.
I don't know. That sounds like a.
That
sounds like a question I'd be asked after I was told one statue always tells the truth and one statue always tells a lie. Like you're not allowed to just do shit like that. Like, what's a word for guarantee that's not guaranteed? Because all my brain can think is guarantee. I can't think of another fucking word.
With 100% satisfaction rating, you are telling the truth. Your advice is good and sound, and you are not young Einstein.
And I can, and I can sound really convincing too.
But you might be Yahoo Serious. We haven't worked that out yet.
Where do you suppose he's at?
I don't know. Like,
I want to start like a general cryptid thing for Yahoo Serious. Like, I believe he's able to just like appear under beds with the hair. You know,
the hair is the bed.
Yeah, like that's what happens. You start noticing this like fucking what looks like fluffy guile hair just around the place.
Oh, here we go. Here's something for Yahoo Serious.
Is it current? Because I've looked him up before.
This article's like from 2020.
Huh.
Yahoo Serious evicted from Sydney home after falling $27,000 behind in rental payments.
He is under the bed. I was 100% correct about that.
The New South Wales and Civil Administrative Tribunal has ordered him to pay his landlords $15,000 and vacate his 3-bedroom rented home in Avalon Beach. 66-year-old and his production company Sirius Productions began renting the property in March 2017 for $13.50 per week.
What for? Like,
make it pornos, I'm assuming. Like, Sirius shot to fame after he wrote, directed, and starred in Young Einstein, 1988, as well as the 1993 film Reckless Kelly. However, the only other work which he is credited to with on Movie Database IMDb is 2000's Mr. Accident. When asked whether he had applied for rental assistance, Sirius told the hearing he had gone to Centrelink and be advised to apply for old age pension as he was about to turn 67. Well, there you go. That's where he is. Behind in debt, probably on the street.
On the pension. That's fucking wild.
Well, I mean, his name is Yahoo. Let's...
He's under your bed.
Yahoo under your bed. Yahoo under your bed.
Oh,
with that, that is the end of our show. Thank you. You can find us on Twitter. You can find me at KEC Aaron. Gabriel, where can we find you?
Yeah, I'm at Gabriel on Guard. There's also, what's the website?
Keepitclassy.com.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I broke you with Yahoo Serious.
Well, no, I just came down from a fucking rape clown Yahoo Serious high. And it's a hard crash.
It's a powerful high.
It's a hard crash.
Goodbye.